Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic Live. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. Excited to be with you and excited to share the news with you, folks. We have a great show. There is major problems at CNN, major problems at the DNC. Both are cash starved, both are failing. This is a wild report on those. But then we also have the chairman of the Federal Reserve saying one of the
failing. This is a wild report on.
Sorry. Anyways, the chairman of the Federal Reserve saying one of the most unbelievable things I've ever heard a chairman of the Federal Reserve say. I've got that video clip for you, as well as other things. They're trying to tell you that Donald Trump is senile now after the Joe Biden years. Yes, I am not kidding. So please smash that like. Do chat in with where you're from. Sorry I missed you the last couple days. I was actually at I had to drive way down to the Twin Cities and do tax appointment stuff. And then I had to move bulls. I've got 2 bulls and I had to move those to other pasture, and we had issues with that. So the day just got absorbed with those things and was not able to get the other things done. But I am glad to see so many of you fine patriots on today. Please smash that like. Do chat in with where you're from, and we'll get right into the news. First, I'm going to share this video clip of Chairman Powell, the Federal Reserve Chairman. I want you to understand as you watch this, there is nobody in the United States that affects our monetary policy more than the Federal Reserve Chairman. He can adjust interest rates simply on a whim. These people send in all these Federal Reserve board members. They give these recommendations. They have a vote. And this is unbelievable. I cannot believe this clip. Watch it.
Can do for the American people, for households and businesses, that is the ultimate thing that we can deliver. And they can make their decisions without having to think about inflation all the time. So in the meantime, we have to keep rates high to get inflation all the way down.
Okay. He has just told you. Now, we had inflation at insane percentages during Biden's years. Do you all remember this? Okay. We did see an increase in rates. So now that inflation has been brought largely under control, and we're even seeing deflation in some scenarios, Chairman Powell is telling you that he cannot lower interest rates to spur more economic growth. Okay? But it gets better.
They're not very high, let's be honest. I would say policy is modestly or moderately, probably modestly now restrictive. If you look at the economy, it's not performing as though it were performing under very strict monetary policy, very restrictive.
Well, wait. Every day they tell us doom and gloom on MSNBC, CNN, CBS, and so on. And now he's saying that they have to restrict monetary policy because things aren't going that badly. It's not performing like an economy under restrictive monetary policy. This guy is a schmuck.
Monetary policy. So I would say probably modestly restrictive. And so what it will take is confidence that inflation is coming down. Now, I would say without tariffs, that confidence would be building because...
Oh, we just got to it, folks. Mr. Globalist, Chairman Powell, is upset about tariffs. We've just found out. I tell you, there is more to this story. I think this is going to be my story for tomorrow. There's a lot more on this front. This economic coup that's going on in the U.S. by our Federal Reserve, which is completely tied into the DNC, which is failing, by the way. Wait till I get to that story. It's awesome. Do me a favor, smash that like, chat in with where you're from. I see so many of you folks, but oh, so the tariffs are why he can't do this. Hold on.
If you see what's happening with non-housing services and housing services, which are the other 2 big pieces other than goods, those are coming down really nicely now. So I think we have to learn a little more about tariffs. I don't know what the right way for us to react will be.
Oh, wait. This is the guy who can adjust interest rates at the stroke of the pen, and he doesn't even know what the hell is going on. He just admitted to that. He doesn't know how the tariffs will affect anything. Wait, I thought they just told us the tariffs were going to cause massive inflation. We've been told all kinds of crap, but now he's saying he doesn't know because he can't do the thing that he needs to do. Do you guys see how freaking nuts this is? And he's not supposed to be able to be fired? What is this crap? Is he a judge?
I think it's hard to know with any confidence how we should react until we see really the size of the effects, and then we can start to make a better judgment.
Did you guys just catch all that? Did you see how there's so much to unpack there? This isn't the focus of my day, but you have to see that video. I just had to start with that, folks, because this is huge. The Federal Reserve needs to go the way of the dinosaur, and we need to get back to the gold standard. That's what we need to do. So you want to get your free info kit on gold, you can text the word lumberjack to 989898. What a segue, folks. No obligation, just useful information. Central banks across the world are buying gold in record quantities. Gold is up over 30% in the last year. Silver has been performing really well. You can get some American Silver Eagles, whatever you want. Birch Gold, if you want to look at converting an existing IRA or 401k dollars into holding physical gold or silver, you can do that. But I do not trust the Federal Reserve. I certainly trust my gold and silver much more. So text lumberjack to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold. All right, so back to this though. Man, this is just nuts. This stuff is all nuts. Wait, somebody said, there was a comment. Is this real? Folks, somebody said that they were trying to tell us Donald Trump was using a catheter. What? Trump was wearing a catheter at the fights photo when wearing the ladies' heavyweight belt. Does anybody else see this story? Is this real? I can't even believe that's real. I can't. I mean, maybe though. Did anybody else see this trying to say that Trump's wearing a catheter? Because this is what Dick Durbin, this is why the Democrats are losing, is because of nutso stuff like this. Watch Dick Durbin here. Okay, and then we'll get into the DNC story.
I think we should consider what happened in Alberta, Canada, just this week, where President Trump was at a press conference with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and said the following: "You all know the great PM of the UK, and we just signed a document." President Trump continued, "We just signed..."
Wait. He just said document. Maybe Durbin is the one who's going senile.
"Signed it, so we have our trade agreement with the EU. Britain has not been a party to the EU for 5 years, but President Trump made a statement which clearly was wrong."
Okay, so that's his bombshell, folks. That's why Donald Trump can't serve as president, because he mistakenly said EU instead of UK. Now, I don't know about you. I mean, we make a lot of jokes about people when they make slips or whatever, but the reality is I do it. Everybody does this. They know what they mean, and you know what they mean when they say it. The difference is Biden actually had dementia, didn't know where the hell he was or what he was saying, and they let that pass for 4 years, and now they're trying to convince us that we need to invoke the 25th to get rid of Donald Trump because he said this is their bombshell. This is why things are going like this for the Democrat Party, folks. Okay. Oh, I've got this one, but here, I want to go. Let's get to this first. New York Times report: the Democrat Party is in chaos, plagued by infighting and quickly going broke. Folks, if you can't smash the like for that, I don't know what. This is Ken Martin. Okay, remember they got rid of David Hogg? Remember this? Okay. That was the guy who was going to take on Mike Lindell in the pillow battle, and he was going to, sell all these pillows and put Mike Lindell out of business. Do you remember this? What was his pillow company called? David Hogg's. It went bankrupt in a year. Do you guys remember this story? Okay, so who's left standing here? Well, we've got Ken Martin. Look at his face. He's such a nut job. The New York Times is reporting that the Democrat Party is much more of a mess than anyone realizes. According to the story, party leadership is in a state of ongoing chaos. There's a major problem with infighting among various members of party factions, but perhaps worst of all for Democrats, the party is quickly going broke and may have to borrow money just to continue simple day-to-day operations. It's easy to guess why donors are not lining up to hand over their cash to the party. Democrats blew through a stunning $2 billion or more in the 2024 election, and almost no one is happy about the way the money was spent. Folks, I'm going to pull this out for just a second. I need to comment something. There is, like, you see the infighting amongst conservatives right now, or quote unquote conservatives, or whatever. Okay. Libertarians who turn their backs on Donald Trump. Libertarians are psycho. They don't know what they believe from day to day. They have no unity as a party. It is the biggest joke of all time. Okay. I don't care. I know some libertarians watch my channel. I love you people, but the party, it's a joke. Nobody knows what they stand for. They can't get any cohesive message. Now we're seeing, because those people came into the mega movement because Trump freed Ross Ulbricht, and then you see these other people and they're all turning on Trump. One of the big things they're turning on is this whole Iran-Israel. Folks, how many missiles have we, the United States, launched on Iran so far? Can somebody give me the answer in the chat? How many military operations has the U.S. carried out against Iran so far? How many? Everybody's freaking out on Trump. They're, oh, well, Iran. Oh, look at my audience knows. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. And everybody's freaking out about this. Like, what the hell's going on in our party? I mean, I'm sitting here reading to you an article about the Democrats in their infighting. We have Donald Trump. Now, let me ask you a question. So far, we've launched 0 military operations against Iran. Let me ask this question. I don't know. I don't get the daily intelligence briefing. This is one of the reasons I don't comment on foreign policy as much. I tend to stick to domestic news because I know and feel that tax policy, Democrats doing stupid things, all that. I tend to stick to that because foreign policy, there is a lot of intelligence that I don't have. Do you guys get the daily intelligence briefings? How many of you in my audience are getting the daily intelligence briefings from the Director of National Intelligence that's given to the president every day? How many are any of you getting that? Yes or no in my audience? I'm just curious because everybody seems to be an expert on what Donald Trump should do about Iran right now. I'm not getting it. Now, let me ask you this question. If Donald Trump did decide that military action was needed against Iran, which is always chanted death to America, death to Israel, how many of you would turn on Trump if he did that? I'm quite serious about this because I am reading all across the web right now, people freaking out over this. If Trump decided that we needed to take military action in Iran with his consistency towards peace and limited engagement and no foreign entanglements, I would support him. I'm supporting Donald Trump on that one. I'm supporting him. Okay. So all these people out there who seem to know so much about what Donald Trump should do, people like Candace Owens, who claims to be a conservative, yet is going half-baked on the nation of Israel and the Jewish people, blows my freaking mind. Blows my mind. It's absolutely ridiculous. I just think all this stuff is so stupid. I can't even believe that is a big thing going on right now with conservatives, that they want to have feuds over this and then jump the shark when Donald Trump hasn't even committed any military involvement to Israel. It blows my mind. I would not. Josh Oliver had a good statement here. Where did it go? Here, I saw it. I agree. I voted for the man because of his ability to make good decisions. Let me ask you this question. How many of you would want to be in his position right now? How many of you would want to be in Donald Trump's positions with the decisions he has to make? Do you know, folks, I've run other people's businesses. I've run sales departments. I've done special contracts where I have all the decisions fall on me. I love it. I love it. Over the course of my life, I love making decisions. I love business decisions. I love it. Like, I'm seriously, I mean, you know, I don't know. I remember, I'll tell you just a quick side story. I was working for this guy. I was turning around his company. They turned the operation over to me. I had to make all the decisions. But before that, I was working on a special project. And it was a media company, and the graphic designer was having trouble getting a decision out of the owner of the company, who hadn't put me in charge of that yet because I was doing these special projects. And she comes up to me, and this isn't even my decision necessarily to make, okay? But she comes up to me and asks me what to do about something. And I said, do this. And she's just like, thank you, Neil. I just needed a decision. Okay. I just naturally gravitate towards that. There is no way in hell, folks, no way that I would want to make the decisions he has to make with the consequences here on earth and eternal consequences that Donald Trump has to make right now regarding Iran, Israel, Ukraine, Russia. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Does anybody even understand that position? We had Joe Biden, who wasn't making any decisions, hiding in the basement of the White House while other people were pulling on the strings, luggage thieves, trannies, these kinds of things, all running around making these decisions. Pete Buttigieg, are you kidding me? These are the people in the administration making the decisions. Now all these decisions are falling to Donald Trump, and everybody wants to run around and rag on him on our side? Are you freaking kidding me? This is nuts. I've never seen anything so stupid in all my life. Good night. I mean, she's all Friday. Gosh. Do you all get what I'm saying about this? This is nuts. Back to the failure of the DNC and the loss of billions of dollars. Got off on a side tangent there, folks. But I just can't believe it. It blows my mind. I thought we elected President Trump to do a job. He's a few months into the job and everybody's freaking out on him about all these different things. I just go like, what the hell? Oh, the FBI, Dan and Cash, they're bad. Pam, bad. Everybody's bad. Oh, gosh, because they don't do everything you want at every single moment. Bunch of we're acting like Democrats. Good night. Oh, my gosh. I can't with this stuff. The Democrats are like an HR department. I'm going to share a quick video. We'll go back to the story, but I want to share this video. I think HR departments are the dumbest thing known to man. And this lady, let me get you her name here real quick. Because this is Jennifer Say. She's the founder and CEO of XXXY Athletics, author of Levi's Unbuttoned and Chalked Up. She's on X. She shared this video. This is 100% true. This is the Democrats. This is why, folks, we waste so much money in government, why we waste so much money in corporate America now, all over the place. Holy cats. Are you kidding me? Kelly, thank you. My goodness sakes. Everybody give Kelly a clap. That's very generous. Thank you, Kelly, for that super sticker. Okay, watch this video.
I want to be the first company that has no HR. They produce nothing. They monitor our words. They tell us what we can and cannot say. They inhibit creativity. If it's just recruiting, fine, do that. But do not get in my business.
They should not even be recruiting, folks. I will explain why in a second.
Business and tell us how we have to talk about things, what we can say, what words are acceptable and what words are not. It's terrible for business.
It's exactly. HR departments are stupid. This is what's running our government right now. This is what's running your school systems. Okay. This is it. HR departments, middle management, administration. And I'll tell you why they shouldn't even recruit, because they have no idea of what the jobs actually are. We need to go back to frontline managers recruiting in companies, in government, all over the place. HR has literally no value. None. This was some advent of the 90s that has turned into complete garbage. I used to sell sales training, and the frontline sales managers are who need to hire salespeople, not HR departments, because it's not about education. It was about, so I hired salespeople. HR, dumbest thing ever of all time. Back to the story. All right. Little side rant for you there, folks. These are free for you today. I'm giving you just extra goodies. I'm telling you. I don't know. I'm feeling it. Let me tell. Maybe it was the couple days off. Maybe it was doing taxes, going down and filing a couple years worth of taxes. That just has me doing this now. Anyways, from the New York Times, Inside the Chaos. Okay. And you have to know the New York Times, this isn't what they want to report. Inside the chaos swirling through the DNC, desperate for cash, just months into the tenure of new party leader Ken Martin, the Democrat National Committee's financial situation has grown so bleak that top officials have discussed whether they might need to borrow money this year to keep paying the bills. Fundraising from major donors, some of whom Mr. Martin has still not spoken with, has slowed sharply. At the same time, he has expanded the party's financial commitments to every state and even to far-flung territories like Guam. Sounds like he knows how to manage the cash, folks. Fellow Democrats are grumbling that Mr. Martin, who quietly accepted a raise after taking the post, has been badly distracted by internal battles. Oh, this is the most glorious story of all time. If you folks aren't understanding, after we had to deal, folks, with Rona Romney McDaniel, this is absolutely glorious. Whoa, somebody else. Trump has my support with Israel. Thank you, Ageless Teachings. Exactly. He has my support too. I mean, do you guys realize that Iran, they're not good guys? I mean, if we need to send some missiles their way, whatever. The people of Iran are not the problem. It is the government of Iran. I actually watched a video of women taking off their hijabs and dancing around, celebrating the end of the Islamic regime because they see that the Jewish state might actually take Iran on and take them out and get rid of those leaders. Thank you again, Ageless Teaching. But after we had to put up with Rona Romney McDaniel and her improper spending of money, taking raises. Do you guys remember this? I ran so many videos on Rona because I wanted her gone, and you, my lovely audience, called. You made a difference there. Thank you so very much for calling and getting rid of Rona Romney McDaniel. Now, look at this going on in the Democrat Party where they're accepting raises and not able to raise funds. It's absolutely glorious. We had to put up with Rona, and now she's gone, and we've got new leadership, obviously. A protracted and public fight with David Hogg, the 25-year-old activist turned DNC vice chair, who blindsided party officials with a plan to challenge incumbent Democrats, made things worse. Oh, David Hogg. I stand with David Hogg, folks. He is my guy. I mean, even in spite of him trying to eliminate Mike Liddell with his pillow movement, his damage to the DNC, not only then, but still currently, because he's going on his media tour. Folks, do you stand with David Hogg? Do you agree that he should not have been canned through DEI efforts at the DNC? Oh, I got to mention too, folks, something, the deal on the Giza sheets ends on Sunday. The free pillow ends on Sunday. So if you want to get those deals from My Pillow, you got to get it now. mypillow.com/lumberjack, or call. It's not 723-6815, Michelle. It's 1-800. You got to call the specific number. It's 1-800-568-2865. Again, that's 1-800-568-2865. I'll remove that and put in the banner for you. Otherwise, you can't get these great deals because the Giza sheets are $20 more with other promo codes. I mean, we get the special deals here on the Lumberjack page, and it ends this Sunday. The Percale sheets, he's got some more of those that he's running down to $24.98, but I am telling you, just get the Giza sheets. Get the Giza sheets. You'll never go back. There's nothing other than Giza sheets for me. Okay, go get some. Support Mike Lindell. He just went through the ringer there. But yeah, this is back to this article here, and then we're going to get on to some other news, but I love this story, okay? The clash included a leak of embarrassing audio of Mr. Martin questioning his own role and ended in Mr. Hogg's unceremonious exit this month. It has been 8 months since the 2024 election, and Democrats have not learned a thing. That's why they're imploding. The DNC is in chaos and desperate for cash, okay? This is absolutely the most beautiful story. Now, it gets better, folks, because this from a few days ago, corporate parent planning network spinoff for declining asset CNN. Tears on the horizon. This is such a good story. The hits keep coming for CNN. The far left network is facing being spun off by its corporate parent company, Warner Brothers Discovery, sometime in 2026. They view the network as a declining asset and are going to split it into two entities. The people who are described as on-air talent have destroyed what was once considered the foundation of cable news. Over the last decade, they have shredded not only their own credibility, but the reputation of the network. They have totally earned what is coming. CNN has tears on the horizon after Warner Brothers Discovery announced last week that it will split it into two companies by separating its studios and streaming business from cable TV networks, according to media insiders. The corporate split, which is expected to be completed by mid-2026, will have significant ramifications for CNN, which is being treated as a declining asset that weighed down WBD's shinier businesses. A little over 3 years ago, Discovery Inc. merged with Warner Media to create Warner Brothers Discovery, to much fanfare as CEO David Zaslav touted the company as the best place for impactful storytelling. Things didn't exactly work out, and Warner Brothers Discovery CFO Gunnar Weidenfels will lead the spun-off group of cable assets, including CNN, while Zaslav keeps the studios for streaming business. Putting a bean counter as CEO sends a very clear message. This is finally the beginning of the long overdue correction of the Jeff Zucker era excesses, a media insider close to CNN told Fox News Digital. It's not just the overpriced talent. It's the overpriced producers, the overpriced executive, the superfluous reporters who barely are on the air. All will either be exited or forced to take massive pay cuts, the media insider said. Here's a reminder of why CNN deserves to go the way of the dinosaurs. This is the peaceful protest, 211 times in 24 hours, folks. CNN and MSNBC called the anti-ICE protest peaceful 211 times in 24 hours. That's not reporting, that's narrative laundering. When fires are burning and mobs are chanting, the media's job isn't to gaslight the public, it's to tell the truth. Watch this.
A study from the Media Research Center shows that from June 11th to the 12th, CNN and MSNBC personalities insisted the anti-ICE demonstrations were peaceful 211 times.
Say it one more time.
211 times they were peaceful. A study.
Folks, they were peaceful. It's not a news network, folks. It's a propaganda outlet of the far left. And if you guys haven't seen the story with the FBI in China, look, there's plenty of bad actors in our own government with the whole stolen election thing. But listen to this. David Clements posted this. The FBI investigation over fake ballots being ejected only confirms what we knew for years. Ballot chasing, you are competing with Democrats. On-demand printers and software are the enemy. Learn the truth. I'm going to play this clip. This is from Clement's movie. It's called Let My People Go. You can watch this on Rumble. This is free to watch, folks. It's on Rumble. You can watch it on X. You can watch it even on YouTube. It's up now. I'm sure it's not monetized, but folks, it is available. I'm going to bring this back. Watch this.
Now for the absentee ballot tracking module that provides the metrics needed to create fraudulent ballots. Here, Jesse Morgan, a subcontractor with the U.S. Postal Service, describes what he found.
Do you guys remember this? Jesse Morgan, the Gaylords of ballots crossing state lines from New York to Pennsylvania. Okay, where did those ballots come from? We just found through the FBI, through Kash Patel, that ballots came from China. Were these part of those ballots?
I know I saw ballots with return addresses filled out, thousands of them, thousands, loaded onto my trailer in New York and headed for Pennsylvania. I got to thinking and wondered why I was driving complete ballots from New York to Pennsylvania. In total, I saw 24 Gaylords, or large cardboard containers of ballots loaded into my trailer. They were complete ballots.
Jesse's observations took place on October 25th, 2020, during early voting. Because bad actors could monitor the number of ballots coming in, through ballot tracking software, teams across state lines could easily produce hundreds of thousands of fraudulent ballots and inject them into Pennsylvania's elections, affecting the outcome.
Okay, folks, I really encourage you to watch the movie. It's called Let My People Go. It's by David Clements. It's very, you're going to see all kinds of things in there, and that you cannot let this issue go. They want us to let this issue go. There's other news out there. I understand that. This is the issue. If we don't get this corrected soon, we've got midterms coming. Okay, this is why it's all on the line with the deportation efforts. 1 million have self-deported. One of Trump's most intelligent things he did was to give them a free ticket, $1,000, and a chance to reapply, because that is much less expensive than going in and getting them with ICE. Okay, plus it doesn't provide the optics that Democrats want, because there's still so many people who are weak in the knees about this issue. Let me ask, how many? You guys have seen the deportation operations going on. You've seen the videos. I watch ICE videos all the time. I mean, how many of you think Trump has gone? I'll just put it this way in the chat. Quick poll: Trump has gone too far, or not far enough, or just about right? Let's just see right now in the comments section what you guys feeling. I almost wanted I want him to go further, faster. I understand the constraints he's up against. I'm going to share something else that you guys will absolutely love. Okay, so wow, not far enough. I've got holy cow, just about right. We got one, but everybody's not far enough. I have an audience of not far enoughers here. Look at this. You guys are awesome. Yeah, I mean, some people are getting all upset. I didn't want to see families separated. Well, that's the beautiful thing. Like Tom Homan said, you can deport the families together, folks. Okay, this is about actually upholding our immigration laws. They all tell us we need new laws. No, we don't. What we need to do is uphold our immigration laws. Okay. Oh, this is it, folks. I've got a good one for you now. All right. Since you guys are all, listen to this. This out of the New Republic, folks. This is a far left publication. So I'm going to read it with a far left voice. The worst part of Trump's big bill is getting almost no attention. For many weeks now, Senate Democrats have been trying to home in on the right message against Republic. I think that's supposed to be hone in. But anyways, against the Republicans' preposterously titled Big Beautiful Bill. While the budget bill narrowly cleared the House after some false starts, its deficit-busting characteristics have thus far kept it from the unified GOP support it needs to clear the Senate. Yet the Democrats are not united on the best strategy to turn the bill into a political loser among voters. The bill is a tax break for the rich. It will kick millions of people off Medicaid and food stamps. It will explode the federal deficit. By the way, folks, the millions of people it's kicking off Medicaid and food stamps, smash that like if you would. But who are the millions of people being kicked off Medicaid and food stamps, folks? In the chat, tell me, who are the millions of people? Have you been following this story? Do you know who the millions of people being kicked off Medicaid and food stamps are? It is not our elderly who paid into Medicaid and are deserving of getting their Medicaid that they paid into. Exactly, folks. It is illegals. Illegals. That's who's being kicked off Medicaid, and this is what they're whining about. Okay? Not only the illegals, folks, but also people who shouldn't be getting it at all. Able-bodied working citizens who shouldn't be getting this stuff would be kicked off. How many of you are upset about that? I don't think anybody in my audience would be upset about that. Okay? All of this is true, but the Democrats have been largely silent on perhaps the bill's most ominous characteristic. An orgy of resources for Kristi Noem and Stephen Miller's shock troops to carry out President Trump's indiscriminate crackdown on immigration and protest. My sense is that Democrats are used to their Republican counterparts, and some within their own ranks, pushing for increased border security and immigration enforcement funding during budget negotiations, and think the public will view it as old hat. This is a sort of learned defeatism, but it also ignores that we are talking about an entirely different scale here. Taking into account previously allocated funds this fiscal year, we're looking at some $200 billion in spending on immigration enforcement, far above what's allocated to any other federal law enforcement function, and more than has ever been spent on immigration enforcement. So you folks of the not far enough category, woo, $200 billion on immigration enforcement. And they are so upset about it. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to say something. This might be a little unpopular. I don't know with you and my audience, but $200 billion is a lot of money. I gotta be frank. I don't want $200 billion in perpetuity on federal law enforcement. And I've actually voiced that. I've tagged in social media and whatnot, so Trump can see that, because Trump does listen to the base. I don't want $200 billion as a permanent federal bureaucracy for federal law enforcement. I don't know how many of you are in favor of that. Some of you might be, in terms of ICE and immigration enforcement. I am not. Okay. If we need to do it for a year, fine. Okay. Where are you guys on that? I don't really like having a lot of federal law enforcement anyways. Okay. I don't. I want to see this thing corrected, and then I want federal law enforcement dialed back down. Okay. That's where I'm at. Okay. We need to balance the budget. We need to, pull down actually some of this federal law enforcement. There's too much of it. On to another video, though. So this is what they're so concerned about, though. I think it's absolutely hilarious, though, that the Democrats are freaking out about it that much. So I do share that. All right, watch this.
What's going to happen here is that we're going to find that milk gets a lot higher, because I don't know if any of you have ever been in a dairy farm. It is god-awful work. We're going to see that.
I've been on a dairy farm. I've done pictures in a dairy farm. Okay. This is really interesting. I don't think, as you listen to this, that Ana Navarro has ever been on a dairy farm. I seriously, some of you grew up in the heartland. A dairy farm isn't god awful work. And we have just proven that even at the meatpacking plant in Nebraska, American citizens will rise up for those jobs. Okay. But this is the new pick your cotton line. It was about pick your vegetables before, clean your house. The Democrats are unreal on this.
Groceries and vegetables are higher. We're going to see an effect in our economy, because whether people like it or not, whether Americans acknowledge it or not, undocumented immigrants are an integral part of our society and our economy. And we're going to have to get used to seeing the videos of U.S. citizens detained, of U.S. citizen children being ripped from the arms of their mothers, and while they wail, of dads and moms and business owners. Yeah, we're going to have to get used to.
So, folks, this is the new thing. This is the Democrat. This is what they've been saying all along, is that who's going to pick your vegetables, who's going to milk your cows. A lot of these dairies are actually, they have robots. I mean, I've been out to dairy farms. I've done projects for this bank in southern Minnesota that works with egg lending. They have robotic milkers now. Dairy farming has changed a lot. Okay. And I've been to numerous, because I was working on a barn book. I need to finish that book, actually. That was a really good project I had going on. Also, personal aside, folks. I know I told you guys I was working on a documentary out in New Hampshire. That documentary has been stalled partly due to funding issues. We are trying to resolve that right now. I may set up a Give, Send, Go to help get funding, because it's flying out there and back. And then, you're out there for days doing interviews and whatnot. So I don't know how many of you would be willing to support that, but it's actually, you know, the documentary will be very good. We've already done a number of interviews, if that's something that you're interested in, but I may be setting up some sort of like a give, send, go for that, and then working with some business leaders out there to raise some more money to get that documentary done. So that's going on. I just wanted to let you know that. But when doing the barns book and filming all those barns, I was at a lot of dairy barns, and folks, a lot of these people they love their work. Proud dairy farmers. There's these big corporate dairy farms, just like the big corporate meat packing facilities that hire these illegals. That's not all the dairy farms we've got. We actually need to get back to smaller family farms. Okay. That's just a reality. We need big ag is not serving us well. So again, please smash that like. If you're new, please do subscribe. Okay. That's just, yeah, it's free for you to subscribe. So let me see what else I had up here. Oh, this one is a story that was missed. I want to bring this in. This is a big one. NPR was really upset about this. So this happened back on June 11th, but the Trump DOJ, I think this is important to bring in now in light of the FBI's findings, but Trump's DOJ makes its most sweeping demand for election data yet. The U.S. Department of Justice is demanding an unprecedented amount of election data from at least one state, according to documents obtained by NPR, as the DOJ, transformed by the Trump administration, reviews cases targeting the presidential's political allies and caters to his desire to exert more power over state voting processes. On May 12th, the Justice Department asked Colorado's Secretary of State to turn over all records relating to 2024 federal elections, as well as preserve any records that remain from the 2024 election. A sprawling request, several voting experts and officials told NPR, was highly unusual and concerning given President Trump's false claims about elections. Okay. What they're going to do with this data, I don't know, said Jenna Griswold, a Democrat. She's the Secretary of State of Colorado, the worst in the nation. But I'm sure they will use it to push their ridiculous disinformation and lies to the American public. Well, Jenna, I mean, election records are just they should just be public information. And so if it's all good, it's all good. The request could be interpreted to include voter registration materials, ballots, and voting equipment, much of which is retained by counties, not the Secretary of State. But if Colorado were to produce all records for the 2024 general and primary elections, they would fill Mile High Stadium, said David Becker, a former Justice Department attorney who worked in the voting section during the administrations of Clinton and George W. Bush, which tells you everything you need to know about David Becker. David Becker, by the way, he founded Center for Election Innovation and Research. That's CEIR. Okay. It's quote unquote nonpartisan. There's so much more to this story, and I don't have time to get into it today. Maybe we can cover that on another stream. But folks, do smash that like, do leave a quick comment, and also go support Mike Lindell. He just got through that trial out there in Colorado. It's one of the reasons Colorado's in the crosshairs, because of Tina Peters, Mike Lindell. Dominion was centered out there. That's why the Justice Department is asking specifically for Colorado. Colorado was a red state for years and years and years. And I know people from Colorado moved there, but there are fishy things going on in Colorado. Okay. So that's a big story. There's big things that the Justice Department is doing, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, and others. So again, there have been significant moves already. LaMonica McIver has been charged, sitting woman in Congress. We've seen mayors hauled out for trying to get in front of ICE deportations. Senator Alex Padilla, who brazenly went up to Kristi Noem, was taken down. They're not messing around with these Democrats anymore, who are trying to destroy America from the inside. And I'm here for it, and I'm actually very pleased with it. So anyways, again, please smash that like. Do subscribe. It's free, and we'll see you on the next episode. All right, folks. Oh, and support Mike Lindell. Again, I'll put that banner up. He just got through that trial. But again, the Giza sheet deal ends this Sunday. The pillows end, but the percale sheets, we got a percale sheet sale for $24.98 right now. So if you need sheets, I recommend the Giza sheets. But if you need less expensive sheets, those percale sheets are still phenomenal sheets, still made with Egyptian cotton, folks. Okay. See you on the next episode. All right. Peace out.